Hey guys, and welcome to a special edition of the Captain Fizz show right here at the Simboyant Park. What?
Captain Fizz and the Mask Guy Show.
So whatever, Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show.
You just called it the Captain Fizz Show, so you're out.
Yes! I have a free night. I can go play Pokemon, which happens to be what we are talking about tonight. We are here on location. We have actually been playing Pokemon Go for the last couple of hours or hour-ish.
Give or take.
Give or take. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We talk about our experiences, and Captain Fizz has got some answers to some great questions. So you know what? Sit back, relax, listen to some tunes, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show. Before we start, I want to do a shout out to Lazy Nerd, who is at the Fringe Festival. I really wish we were able to go, but we have a show to do, and, well, there's Pokemon to catch.
Yeah, there is, absolutely.
So, over a year ago, they introduced Pokemon Go, which really stumped most people, myself included, because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work, but it has worked phenomenally.
Just,
of sorts.
You know what? I mean, honestly, just the simple fact that it wasn't quite what I think any of us were expecting. There was this wonderful ad that they had when they were first introducing the game, and it really, while it kind of gave you a hint at being able to catch Pokemon, you really got the idea that there was going to be these special events where you could go off and meet up in places like in the ad, Times Square in New York, to go off and catch Pokemon like Mewtwo. But that's not the way it kind of started off, and hasn't been until recently, where they've started adding the raid aspect of the game.
Yes, so basically, just before, and yes, Amy, it has been out for just over a year. So last year was the start. The raids just started this year.
It just within the last
just
month
before
or so.
The 1 year anniversary event down in Chicago, they started the raids, which definitely started off very unpredictable, and people were unsure how to do it. And you quickly realized that even the strongest people could not do things on their own.
Well, I mean, there's certain things that you can go off and you can do. I mean, there's now I believe 5 levels of raids. I can win a level 1 raid pretty much by myself, but even to jump from a level 1 to a level 2, you need at least to have a couple people on your side to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm actually almost at the point where I can solo a 2-star, which is definitely quite some feat. Just recently, 2 people actually were able to take down a 4-star by themselves, just 2 people. So that shows how strong they are and what type of Pokemon they have. And that ultimately what it boils down to is, what type of Pokemon you have. You need to know who you're battling before you know who to battle with. Which doesn't sound
it's
all that hard.
I mean, there are probably a dozen different aspects of Pokemon. I mean, you have fire Pokemon, you got water Pokemon, you got ice Pokemon.
You got dark, you got fairy, you got ghost. You got so many different types. There's literally, and there's different combinations. You'll have like a grass and bug, or ghost and fairy, water fairy. It's so many different things. So you could prepare for one part of it, and it all depends on what attack they have. If they have water and you are fighting with fire, well, chances are you won't win.
You're not. I've been in battles and oh god, I'm gonna die because I don't have.
So let me explain this a little bit more. With raids, you aren't actually battling another person. With gyms, you are. Basically, when someone takes over a team in their team name, or over a gym in their team name, they are able to put Pokemon in there, and then you battle them to take it over again. The Pokemon, when they're beaten, go back to the person who has them. Sometimes with coins, sometimes they're robbed. For me, it's at a point where it's they're doing 1 coin every 10 minutes. I keep getting this being sent back at 9 minutes and 40 some odd seconds, so I don't even get my 1 coin. It's very frustrating, but it comes with the territory. With the raids, what it is random Pokemon that are being put in the gyms that you have a certain timeline to go and beat them to have a chance to catch them for yourself. Most of my powerful Pokemon have come from that aspect, which has been really good. That part leads into the whole interaction with people where, in the first trailer when they showed Pokemon a year ago of everybody rushing for this big, battle, that's what they finally introduced now of the raids, is allowing people to interact with each other more. And it's not exactly going as planned. People are working together, but they're not actually interacting.
Well, it's a situation where, a raid starts. All you do is you have to click on the gym, go up and, click on the raid. But you don't necessarily have to be talk with each other. I've been at raids where people just completely ignore each other and they're completely on their phone. But, that's also kind of a sign of the times, because that seems to be kind of a disease that's come along here.
Yeah.
Where everybody, would rather interact through their phones than interact with one another.
No, I completely agree. And we'll get into the part where I actually asked someone, Jesse, who is one of the admins and one of the beginners of the Pokemon Go Winnipeg Facebook group. And I apologize if things are a little loud. There is wind. We are outside. Weather happens.
And there are people around us who have absolutely no idea what we're doing. So
That's okay. Neither do we.
When have we ever known?
We probably at this point won't do our in-between music just because we are limited on a little less time than usual due to we're working things out and trying some new stuff. So anyways, Jesse from Pokemon Go Winnipeg had the pleasure of asking him some questions over Facebook. First question I actually asked him was, why do you love Pokemon? And I think that's a very generic question for most people who play this game, is why do we love it, right? So for him, his answer is, like most of us, he's the first generation of kid. He loved it as a kid, has lots of the Game Boy games, the games for the 3DS. Something he introduced to his own son, who loves it as well. So for them, it's this big bonding thing for them. From whether it's the game, the TV show, trading card game, so this huge bonding experience. And I think we all have that opportunity. One with older kids, and that is this thing where we get out of the house, we get to try, see new places as families, and this whole I caught this, I caught that. It's a really wicked, really absolute. Amazing feeling. I know you are regularly out at Assembly Park.
I come here probably. We're here probably once a week at the very least. We'll actually be back here tomorrow. Going to be at the Assembly Park Zoo tomorrow for a little bit to kind of celebrate a little bit of our 9th wedding anniversary, and then we are going to go off and we're going to go see Spider-Man Homecoming tomorrow night and possibly get a little drunk at it. It's one of those adult movie theaters where they go off and serve you highly priced food, junk food, and but that pretty much goes for any theater. But it's kind of slightly higher quality, overpriced junk food, and you can drink beer.
And for me, I'm generally at this park, I think, 2, 3, maybe 4 days a week. Just because for me, it's like after work, it's this huge opportunity to de-stress. Nothing says de-stress like throwing random invisible balls at random invisible creatures.
For me, it's kind of like, it's a nice way to get exercise. Supposedly, you're supposed to get like 10,000 steps a day. I regularly get maybe half of that, but when I come to the park to go off to hunt Pokemon, I tend to get around 7,000 by the end of the day. So that's
and that's what it's designed for. I'm averaging actually one night, just because we were unloading a bunch of stuff at work. I finished with 36,000 steps throughout my entire day. That's rare, very, very rare. So, and the one thing about this game is they have multiple teams. So, Team Mystic, Team Instinct, Team Valor, and I said it in that order for one specific reason.
Because, let me think about it. What team are you?
I am Team Instinct, and actually, if you look at the map as of today, at least 1/3 of the city is Team Instinct.
Yeah, probably until Team Valor comes and knocks you guys out again.
It's an ongoing battle.
It's definitely an ongoing battle.
So I asked him what made him choose the team that he chose, right? So he chose Valor. And one of the reasons why is he's always had a soft spot for fire types. And at the time, his friends were choosing Valor as well. Now, we've all been there. I think I actually started as Valor.
You did, but then you lost that account.
I lost that account due to couldn't remember the password when I switched my phone. So I went to Instinct. So he said for him, because his friends it was a very easy choice for him, which makes sense. But he's not a huge fan of Moltres, ironically enough. So that kind of is an interesting fact. And leading into that, I do have to point out they have actually revealed when the next legendary Pokemon are coming out. So Articuno, who's out right now, with Lugia. Lugia?
I have no idea. I haven't actually tried for any of the raids for the legendary Pokemon yet.
Well, those two, Articuno for sure is only here until the 31st. And from there, they're going to be switching into Moltres, which of course is Team Valor. And they're going to be running from July 31st to August 7th. And then from there, it's going to be Zapdos, which is Team Instinct. Thank you. From August 8th to the 14th. So they are rolling them all out. We never really realized they were going to be this soon. Now, my bigger concern is what happens after that, because obviously they're not going to stick around. They're not going to put them out as often, if at all. So myself, who is 0-4.
You've won the raids, you just have not been able to catch any Pokemon.
Yeah, I've had constant glitches where the balls randomly stop in the middle of the screen, so it's like getting headbutted by the ball, but it's just not moving. So it's really, really difficult. So it makes it more pressuring to get out there and catch these ones just in case, right? So that's a little bit more motivation for me to be out here more often. Today, I actually, and I have to point this out, I got a ride all the way from my work to Polo Park. I ran from Polo Park to the one of the gyms that had a legendary Pokemon, Lugia. I got in there. There was 19 of us. We managed to beat it. I had literally a sliver of health left on my last Pokemon, so I was like literally sweating buckets at that point. But we did it, and this is where the game gets a little frustrating. The people who have stronger, Pokemon who are able to do more damage have a more advantage over the rest of us who have low power Pokemon who just want to catch them. They actually get extra balls just for more damage, which as lower guys, that sets us back a big difference. So I ended up having to try to catch a Lugia with only 6 balls. And keep in mind that this is like a 2% chance of catching it. So it's very, very unlikely that in 6 I'm going to catch it. And for Amy, to answer your question, to catch the Pokemon, basically as you're walking, it actually goes with your GPS, so it recognizes everything around you. And certain areas have different stops. For example, certain important areas like the hockey arena downtown, some of the hotels, the churches.
Tons of murals. I didn't realize how many murals we